Well, I was just working on my business plan for a lot of projects. Mm-hmm. Now I have to smush them into one.
Like which business plan?
All of them.
All 13?
All 13. And now I have to smush it into one. Mm-hmm. But that app that you were telling me about is like super helpful.
Oh yeah, it's literally, I was doing research on my own, just trying to like figure out like what's going to make my life easier on that level of design and the PowerPoint presentations, because I don't have the time and I don't have, like, that's not what I want to do in life.
No. Presentations are like
decks.
the death of me.
Who wants to build decks? Nobody.
I feel like they're all lies anyways.
Yeah.
It's like you just look at them and it's all like, here's all these hypothetical numbers because we've never done anything. And just based off of research, I don't think that's good enough.
Give me money. This is what you might get.
Yeah. I'm like, no, I've gone out and spent the money. So give me money now so I can keep expanding what I'm working on.
Yeah, and I think we needed a lot of people who we've had a conversation with to need to even rewire their frames of thinking, because they're so, like, they have this formula that they've been working off for a long time, like either going to school for it.
Yeah.
Like that's, again, exactly what they're taught. The
Yeah.
educational institution system is teaching you a certain way, whereas they're not expanding to think opposite ways.
Yeah.
And I think what you come to the table with is a different model of what they weren't taught to understand or even consider.
Literally. I'm going to look up this one chat. So the other day I was going through and I was looking up like, what is the definition of colonialism and decolonization? And then I basically was going through it and it was like, decolonization is basically breaking down colonial structures. I'm like, what is a colonial structure and what does it mean? And then it was like, colonial structures are systems. And I'm like, well, that's just like really lame, because like just because something's used in colonialism doesn't mean it can't be used in decolonization. And then I started to think about like, okay, well, systems exist in both. Like ecosystems and natural like states have their own systems. And just because a system exists in colonial infrastructure doesn't mean that a system can't also benefit breaking down that system too and repurposing it into good. So I started messing around with that and started talking about it for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then I started to kind of like think more outside the box. And I was like, what am I really good at? Like, what is my purpose?
Yeah.
And it was like, you're really good at like systems and organization and creating autonomy and building confidence with other people. And I was just like, that's so funny because they're like polar opposites. So then the app that we're currently building for like the cohort, I wanted to call it Sovereign Systems.
Yeah.
So it's like funny to me because they're two polar opposite things. Like sovereignty is basically autonomy. And actually I've just been like saying autonomy and like not really like paying attention to what it means. And then I hear the word sovereignty and I also haven't really been connecting to what it means. So when I was looking up like, okay, well, what is sovereignty? Like, I think I asked it, like, I really hate when I'm labeled for things. And I feel like when I'm going into like these investor talks and when I'm going into these financial infrastructure meetings, they're constantly like, you need to do it this way. And you're a founder of this business. You need to keep doing it this way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I hate being labeled. I don't want to be diagnosed into one thing.
Yeah.
I want to be undiagnosable.
Yeah.
I'm like, Kanye West. I can't be managed.
You're like, I don't want to be a white labeled colonizer.
Yeah. I'm like, I should just be allowed to exist in the capacity that I want. Why do I, just because like the system works for colonial systems doesn't mean it has to work in decolonized ones, and vice versa. It can't be like positive and a negative.
Yeah.
So why is me being multifaceted such an outlier negative for typical infrastructure? Because it can also be used for good.
Yeah.
Because two things can be true at once.
And I know we've had this conversation too, and I know there's been opportunity of like funding opportunities from investors and stuff, but one thing they always like tell you is like, well, we can't invest you because you're not focused on this one thing.
Yes.
You're not focused on this one business.
I've heard that for 4 years.
Yeah, and if they like understanding Indigenous people, like we are very multifaceted. Like we live in two worlds specifically too.
Yeah.
Like we have the Western side of us, and then we have like the traditional culture side of us.
I have
so
been trained.
if you have an understanding of who you are and you come from those two worlds, we are not like singular faceted.
No.
Or what, I don't know what the term is, monofaceted.
Yeah.
We are
adaptive.
We are.
And like people keep saying resilient. I don't like the word resilient because it's like always used with like overcoming things.
Yeah.
And it's like, just because we're able to overcome things doesn't mean that's all we have to do. We can actually just be adaptive and flexible and pivot and be able to like be forward thinking instead of resilient.
Yeah, and I think that resonates with me too, specifically because even like by my role with this nonprofit organization, like it concluded because of funding cuts and everything. And people I talked to like, oh, I'm so sorry, like what can I do? I was like, no, I'm fine. Like again, I am a multifaceted person. I adapted.
Yeah.
I just literally rolled over into like my entrepreneurship mode because I've always had a business. It started pre-COVID and just kind of rolled through COVID. And I'm like, okay, let me get a job. And I got a job with a nonprofit. And then that concluded. I'm like, oh, well, I have my business to fall back on. It's like the same shit over and over and over again. But I'm tired of people like saying like, oh, you're resilient. Oh, you'll overcome. I was like,
what do you mean? I didn't even overcome it. I'm choosing to do this.
Yeah, like I said, what do you mean? It just comes natural for me. Like, okay, well, since I need to pay bills, it's like I'm not gonna like cry about it and like, oh my god,
I'm gonna figure it out and keep
going.
going.
I was like, I already know I already have this game plan, and even if it's whatever game plan, it's just a natural thing for me now.
Yeah,
it's like I've always had this business. It's just natural when ebbs and flows of like the job market, but like my business is always gonna be there because it's mine. Like. No matter if I'm in the job market, it's the consistent part of myself.
I think that's the thing that we freak people out about the most is that we're able to stay unfazed at all times. It's like whether or not something's really good or really bad, it constantly doesn't mean anything. And I feel like that's like what we relate to the most with each other is like we could be having the worst day ever or the best day ever.
Yeah.
And we just like, it's just the day.
Even like today with our last meeting where we talked about the cohort and how like some people paid for it and then and just like, okay, so how much do you pay yourself for all? Nothing.
Like, nothing.
And they're like, what? Like,
yeah.
Like, well,
this wouldn't have existed.
Yeah.
Nobody would have given us money.
Yeah.
They still have not given us money.
And we have the data for it now. Like we see the struggles of entrepreneurs who came through our cohort. We learn from it, and that I think that's where the real value is. Like we learn from it. So how do we make it better going forward? Like we didn't pay ourselves.
Yes, and it's like even with like systems, like there was this one time that I was just trying to understand my staff better, and I was like going through the motions of like, how do I communicate things to them? Because people are the deciding differentiator. So you could build the most perfect plan. You could think about how to set things up perfectly, and it'll always mess up because of other people. And that's
a human
life.
Error.
Yeah. So it's like the whole purpose of the cohort, just because we've created the perfect system to do it doesn't mean people are going to receive it in the way that we want them to.
Yeah.
And the whole purpose of piloting something is to understand where that human disconnect comes in, which I think we learned really well, like with the cohort, in terms of like my approach. Like I'm not like bad cop, but you're like good cop. And I just come in and I'm like, no. Maybe, okay, yeah. And then like I leave and you're like, you do your thing and you're like, okay, that was a lot. What's up?
No, but the where we connect and where we find that alignment too is the end goal.
Yeah.
Whether it's like no, change the design, blah blah blah, and I come in, I'm like, oh, so how did you feel about that? And I hear their emotions and their perspective on it.
Because they still need space to like reflect.
Yeah, and I think that's just, again, like any person of color, anyone who has those historical traumas of like anything, like you have to give space, and like that's where I know my value is allowing people of any ecosystem that I've worked under or helped build. Giving them those space, like literally I'd have like random people just sit in my office and just vent to me about life. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I listened, and that's where I was like, just more helpful and like, oh, well, like, is there anything I can do? Is it impacting your business? Is it impacting like your time here? Yeah. Do you need like a conference room where you want to work and just be there because you need a cry, or you need a just time away from the rest of the community? Like, what can I do to help you? And
I think that's what you do so well, because like I go in and I immediately just like want to know about how to solve whatever's there. I can't help but like immediately fix people's problems, where I think you're really good at allowing people to come to their own conclusions.
Yeah, and I like I said, that's how we find our synergies too. But at the end of the day, it's the same common goal. We're here to help
them,
the indigenous economy, or help the founders, the startup people, the business owners, and just being sustainable and being able to hold themselves accountable for them to excel. Like, we're not trying to like hold people back at all.
No, it's the opposite. We want them to like propel forward, and they're going to be able to do it faster if they can check off the boxes like a lot quicker. Because it's like, again, just because the system exists in a colonial setting doesn't mean that it can't exist in a decolonized setting too. So it's like, if we just do what we're told, and then we can like move faster through the door, then great, we can make the impact and change once we're through the door. But we're not going to get anywhere if we're just throwing like tomatoes at the door.
Yeah.
We're never going to get let in if we do that.